In this video, we are going to compare 5 3D scanners from Creaform. As of 2021, this is the current lineup of Creaform's handheld 3D scanners. The 5 scanners are the Peel 2 3D scanner, the HandySCAN 700, the GoSCAN Spark, the HandySCAN Black, and finally, the MetraSCAN Black. Now, something to mention is some of these scanners have additional models that we are not going to discuss today. For example, the MetraSCAN has the Black Elite, and the 357. We are testing the top-of-the-line system for each model. In addition, if you would like more of an in-depth demonstration of any of these models, make sure and check out our YouTube channel. We have created 20-plus minute full detail and review videos for each model you see here. We have also placed links to the demo videos in the description below, as well as quick links to specific areas of the video if you want to jump around. So what we plan on doing in this video is a quick review of the major specs for all of the 3D scanners so you can compare them side by side. Keep in mind, specifications are great, but there are many other factors that go into choosing the correct 3D scanner based on your needs. We will then spend some time talking about each 3D scanner, specifically the applications they were designed for, the pros and cons of each 3D scanner, and finally, who is the target audience for each one of these 3D scanners. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through the specs for each scanner. And we're not going to cover all the specs. We're just going to cover kind of the major ones that most people are interested in. Again, you can go to those in-depth demo videos we've made or look on the website to see all of the specs. But these are the critical ones that everybody is most interested in. So let's start with the Peel 2. If you look at the resolution, and that's really the mesh density, and that can go up to 0.5 millimeters. That's not accuracy. That's just how tight of a mesh can you resolve. So you can go up to 0.5 millimeters. The light source, which is projected out onto the part, is a LED light. It will take up to 550,000 points per second. That's assuming you fill the whole scan volume with data that it can pick up. The scan area is pretty much a square, which is 380 by 380 millimeters. That's kind of how big of an area at any one time it can scan. And then the accuracy is up to 0.1 millimeters. And then the volumetric accuracy is 0.3 millimeters per meter. So let me explain both of those because there's always a lot of confusion. When most scanning companies talk about accuracy, they're usually talking about some kind of point-to-point measurement back and forth. It's usually just in a plane, and they'll give you some accuracy number. But when you start scanning in a 3D volume, you are going to start to kind of stack error. And that's what you're looking at here is what is that stacking error, okay? Now, the next thing here is the ISO 17025 or some of the VDI, VDE, and ISO standards. Now, I'll save this till we get down into the scanners that are certified under that to explain that, okay? And I'll also talk more about accuracy at that same time. Next up is a high-performance laptop required. No, you still want a good laptop, but some of these scanners have very specific graphics cards, processors that you need to use. And basically we're saying you don't need that one. You still want a good computer, but it doesn't need to be a very specific, very high-end. And then as far as price, we're not going to get into specific pricing because it varies from country to country and prices can change over time. So let's just say that this is the most affordable in the shootout here, and we've kind of put them in order by price, so that should give you some ideas. So that's the Peel 2. Now next up is the HandySCAN 700. Its resolution, again mesh density, will go down to 0.2 millimeters. And this gets into the feature size, how small of a feature the scanner can pick up and resolve, as I've mentioned earlier. The light source is red laser lights, and the HandySCAN 700 has 14 laser lines in a cross-hatch pattern. And then it also has a single line mode to get into fine detail, small holes, narrow crevices in a single line mode. It will do that. And again, if you want to see a lot of detail on that, go watch the demo videos. The measurements is a little bit less at 480,000 points per second. And the scan area is slightly smaller at 275 by 250 millimeters. The accuracy is 0.03 or 30 microns. Again, that's kind of your point-to-point accuracy in a given area. And then your volumetric accuracy as you start scanning along to scan something larger. You can see we're at 60 microns over a meter. So that's your stacking error. It is not ISO certified, nor VDI VDE. Doesn't require a high-end laptop and is kind of next up in the price point above the Peel. Moving on, we have the GoSCAN Spark. That'll do a resolution up to 0.2 millimeters. This is a LED. It's a structured light pattern, and it projects out 99 lines from an LED light. It has a very high scanning measurement amount, which is 1.5 million points per second. And it has a really large scanning area of 390 by 390 millimeters. The accuracy can be up to 0.05 millimeters with that stacking error of 0.15 millimeters per meter. It is not ISO certified. It does require the high performance laptop. The next three scanners, because of the amount of scan data they are scanning, they require this high performance laptop. Specifically, there's an NVIDIA graphics card that you absolutely must have. And then you need a really good i7 or preferably an i9 processor and a fast solid state hard drive, because we're talking about files that can be 5, 10 gigabytes in size or greater. And I will point out the Peel 2 and the GoSCAN Spark have the ability to scan in color, and that will just add even larger file size and more computation required. And it is next up in the pricing scheme here. Now, next up is the HandySCAN Black. This is specifically the Elite model. It has a resolution down to 0.1 millimeters. It uses blue laser technology. It has 22 lines and that single line mode that we talked about. It'll capture 1.3 million points per second. It has a volume of 310 by 350, and you can see it has an accuracy of 25 microns. In English, that would be roughly a thousandth of an inch. And then it has a volumetric accuracy of the 40 microns per meter. So now let's talk about ISO and what does that mean? So ISO 17025 certification means Creaform is an accredited ISO 17025 lab. And they have put these scanners through some very rigorous standards for manufacturing, testing, and calibration that has to be met. And when we say that the accuracy is 25 microns, it is to the VDI, VDE, and then for probing, the ISO standard. I'm not going to get into all the details here, but basically they're manufactured, calibrated, and tested in an ISO 17025 accredited lab to some very specific standards. So you notice the other scanners, it says up to. That's because they're not necessarily calibrated, tested, and measured to this standard, where the HandySCAN Black and the MetraSCAN Black are. And that 25 micron, basically it's a bunch of ball bars and a pretty good size volume at all different locations. That is the worst case measurement. So this is a very stringent standard, and what we're labeling here is the worst case in that accuracy statement. So when you start to get into metrology, this starts to become very important. If you're not into metrology and doing inspection, this may not be as important. Key thing here is it's a certified accuracy done to a very specific standard. So that's one thing to keep in mind. High performance laptop, yes, a little more expensive. MetraSCAN Black, we're talking about the Elite model here. Pretty much the same resolution, but it has 30 laser lines and the single line mode. It'll capture even more data, or the most data, at 1.8 million points per second. The scan area is 310 by 350, and then the accuracy is 0.025 millimeters, same as the MetraSCAN Black. And then the volumetric accuracy, you can see, is at 78 microns, but that is in a 16-meter volume. We'll go into this more later because it's a little bit different in the way this system works and what it's meant for. So we'll talk more about that. But it falls under the same ISO, ISO laboratory standards, and then the VDI, VDE standard for the scanning, and the new ISO standard for the probing, because it does scanning and probing. And yes, of course, it requires that high-performance laptop. And finally, it is the most expensive system here. So those are the major specs of all of these scanners, just so you can kind of look at them side by side, give you a general idea of price point, at least how they compare to each other, the accuracy and everything else. So these are the major specs for each one of these scanners. Okay, so now we're going to get into more specifics with each one of the scanners. And as we mentioned, we're going to talk about the applications, the pros and cons, and then finally, who is this scanner for? And we will start with the Peel 2 3D scanner. So the Peel 2 3D scanner is the entry-level, what a lot of people like to call prosumer 3D scanner. Being a structured light 3D scanner with geometry tracking, it can work with and without targets. And if you don't know what targets are, again, go watch some of our other videos, but they're basically little stickers you put on a part that help the scanner track. Because this will use geometry as well as targets, it makes it a little bit easier for people to use. And it's really good for things like product and industrial design, consumer products, sculpture and artifact, prosthetics, education, and more. It has a reasonably good accuracy and good detail, and it's really easy to use. Also, there's some optional CAD modules that allow you to do some basic mesh editing, feature extraction, and auto surfacing. So really the pros and cons of this system are, the pros, it's easy to use. It's pretty straightforward, comes with some great tutorials and online videos, and really designed to help somebody get going that's never done 3D scanning before. It has, pretty good accuracy and detail given its price point. In this price area here, it's definitely probably one of the best 3D scanners. Not only just the quality of the scan, but the level of support, the documentation, everything. And it also captures color. Some people want to be able to capture color for things like animation and virtual reality and things like that. Now, some of the cons of this system is it will struggle on small parts or parts with a lot of detail. It's just at that 0.5 millimeter resolution, you're just not going to get into some very tight, small, fine features with this scanner. And some surface types will be challenging. Things that are very shiny, very dark, very reflective, transparent will be a challenge with this scanner unless you do some type of surface treatment, which would be like tape, or there's different sprays out there you can spray on and then wipe off. Some of them even evaporate over time. And the speed of the scanner is not as good as some of the other scanners, just because of maybe some of the challenging surface types that it has to work with. So, who is this scanner for? It's really for someone on a budget or really just getting started with 3D scanning. They don't want to break the bank on a more professional, high-end system. It might be a small entrepreneur who's just getting started. It's also great for schools, universities, medical professionals where maybe they're only using it, part-time to do some things. There is some great educational bundles with software and hardware and ongoing support that you can get with this scanner. So it's a great entry-level scanner, but yet it's still, a professional grade system. Okay, so next up is the HandySCAN 700. This scanner is the entry-level laser-based 3D scanner from Creaform. One of the most popular 3D scanners of all time, the HandySCAN 700 is a great scanner. Laser-based 3D scanners do a better job on demanding surface types and offer higher detail on fine features. The single line mode really lets you get into some small holes and narrow features such as ribs and small cavities. The HandySCAN 700 is extremely portable yet powerful 3D scanner. Its small size makes it great for getting into tight areas, such as inside an engine bay or an industrial valve. Like the PL3D scanner, it's extremely easy to use. It also features onboard smart buttons that let you change things like laser power or adjust your view while you are 3D scanning. It's a great balance of resolution, speed, accuracy, price, and the ability to scan challenging surface types in one product. So let's take a look at the pros and cons of the HandySCAN 700. One of the pros is it's just an excellent value for a laser-based 3D scanner. It offers very good speed, accuracy, and detail, especially for its price point. It is small and very portable. Some of the cons, it's not as accurate as some of the higher-end 3D scanners, and it is not ISO certified. So who is the HandySCAN 700 for? This scanner is going to be a great scanner for the industrial professional who is primarily focused on small to medium-sized parts to create CAD models from 3D scan data. In addition, they may be scanning shiny machine parts or darker, dirty industrial parts where the lasers can do a great job. Typical customers are in the aftermarket performance parts industry, consumer products, metal fabrication, replication, automation, and similar industries. The GoSCAN Spark is the latest generation handheld structured light 3D scanner. Using 99 LED lines, it can capture 1.5 million points per second in a large scanning area and depth of field. It also includes improved color capture capabilities and fidelity. It is extremely fast, and although it's not quite as good as laser-based scanners on challenging surface types, it does a very good job on most surface types. Accuracy is very good for its target user. The ability to 3D scan with no targets is also a huge advantage of the GoSCAN Spark. In many cases, you can completely 3D scan a part while other 3D scanners are still applying targets. It is very flexible in how it positions itself in 3D space. It can work with no targets and use the geometry. It can use targets only, or targets and geometry, and it can also use color and texture to position itself as well. This gives you many options when 3D scanning an object. So what are the pros of the GoSCAN Spark? It is extremely fast at 3D scanning. It uses few or no targets on most surface types. It has very good resolution and accuracy, and it offers full color 3D scanning. Some of the cons: it is not ISO certified. It will struggle in bright sunlight or challenging surface types, and it does require a high-end laptop. Who is it for? Speed is king with the GoSCAN Spark. Customers of this type of scanner are in industries like theming, architectural products, entertainment, animation, art, sculpture, foundries, medical prostheses, pattern making, industrial design, vacuum forming, simulation, and more. The HandySCAN Black is the flagship laser-based, extremely portable 3D scanner from Creaform. It is the only ISO 17025 accredited handheld laser-based 3D scanner on the market. What does that mean? It means the calibration process, accuracy numbers, quality control, product reliability, and performance have gone through rigorous international standards to meet the highest demands of our customers. With 22 blue laser lines, it can 3D scan very small to very large parts quickly and accurately. It also means it can 3D scan shiny materials like machined aluminum, chrome, and more with no surface treatment. With a resolution down to 0.1 millimeters and an ISO certified accuracy of 0.025 millimeters, no other handheld 3D scanner even comes close. The HandySCAN Black is truly a metrology grade measurement device validated by the VDI VDE measurement standard. The HandySCAN Black gives you the accuracy of ARM-based scanners without all the complexity and size. Forget granite tables and a heavy, bulky arm stand. Just grab the HandySCAN Black and head out to the shop floor and 3D scan and inspect all types of parts quickly and accurately. So what are the pros and cons of the HandySCAN Black? Well, the pros are it is the most accurate, highest resolution handheld 3D scanner on the market. It is manufactured in an ISO 17025 facility and measured under the VDI VDE standard. It is truly a metrology grade system, and it can 3D scan the most demanding surface types, and it is also extremely fast. So the only con is it comes at a higher price than other scanners. So who is it for? For those users who want zero compromise in regards to speed, resolution, and accuracy. This is the scanner for you. If you are performing dimensional inspection or have to meet ISO requirements, then the HandySCAN Black is the only choice. It is great for small to large parts, and like all Creaform 3D scanners, can work with the MaxShot photogrammetry system for even higher accuracy on larger parts. The MetraSCAN Black is a very unique 3D scanning and probing system. It is designed as a shop floor 3D scanning and metrology system for medium to large parts. The scanner offers 30 blue laser lines to capture an insane amount of 3D scan data. The probing system allows you to inspect features like holes, planes, slots, thin edges, scribe lines, and more. With its dynamic referencing system, you can inspect parts on the shop floor even while they are moving around with no loss of accuracy. Don't try this with your tripod-mounted white light scanner or ARM-based system. Forklifts, stamping dies, molding machines, automation equipment, and other things will drive their accuracy out the window in a real-world shop floor situation. Users don't want to take their parts to a lab and measure them anymore. They want to do it on the shop floor, and the MetraSCAN is the only system that can accurately do it under harsh environmental conditions. With its 16-meter single scanning volume, it can hold a very tight tolerance evenly throughout that volume. No leapfrogging or photogrammetry systems are required like the competition to expand their volumes. Simply use the dynamic referencing system to automatically expand the volume for very large parts. The MetraSCAN can also perform auto calibration adjustments as the temperature changes throughout the day, so there is no need to recalibrate. So what are the pros and cons of the MetraSCAN system? It is the most accurate, highest resolution, large-scale scanning system on the market. It is manufactured in an ISO 17025 facility, and like the HandySCAN Black, has been measured to the VDI VDE standard. It is truly metrology-grade equipment. It's built for the shop floor. Vibration and movement don't affect accuracy. It is extremely fast, and it only requires a handful of targets on most parts. The cons: it is the highest priced Creaform system in this test, and it is not as portable as other Creaform 3D scanners. So who is this scanner for? Customers who frequently 3D scan medium to large objects or want to perform shop floor inspection, the MetraSCAN is the obvious choice. If you need to do both 3D scanning and probing, the MetraSCAN has many advantages over traditional CMMs, ARM-based systems, and tripod-mounted structured light systems. So in conclusion, which 3D scanner should you consider if you are in the market for a system? Well, many factors should be considered, and my suggestion would be to order them based on importance. Things you should factor in your decision should be things like ease of use, accuracy, speed, surface type scanning ability, cost or value, portability, shop floor friendliness, applications, part size, environment, which would be things like shop floor, outside, tight spaces, areas of vibration and movement, ISO, VDI, VDE certification, color and texture, manufacturer location, local service and support, and integrated software as far as features and quality. Those are just some of the things you should consider. You can also watch a video in the link below called 5 Things to Look For in a 3D Scanner, which will go into more detail on determining what scanner is right for you. Finally, as a reminder, you can go to our YouTube channel and check out in-depth demonstration videos on all of the 3D scanners you've seen here. And if after that you want to learn more about these scanners or schedule an in-person or web-based demonstration of any of these, perhaps even on one of your parts, then I would suggest you fill out the form in the link below or give us a call at 877-845-2700, or you can email us at info@ems3d.com.